In this video, we're going to dig into the piano roll editor and see how it works. Let's start by looking at selecting notes. Well, we can simply click on them and select them, and we can shift click to make multiple selections, like that. Or we can just rubber band select in the background and create a selection like that. Or we can select a note on the piano keyboard and have it select all the notes that are on that pitch. So for example, I hit that C, and I can see there's 4 notes selected, and I have a little bit of an info display up here. It shows me 4 selected notes, and you'll see this field here changes as I move the cursor around. As I hover it over a note, it'll give me the information on the note. It'll show me what pitch it is, and then where it falls. There it's telling me bar 10, beat 4, the 3rd 16th note, etc. So that's selection, and I can just scroll up and down the keyboard and have it select a bunch of notes like that. And of course I can shift click to omit specific pitches from the selection if I want, and have selection ranges like that. Now let's look at creating notes. All of these MIDI editors have their own unique toolboxes. Some of the tools are the same as the Arrange window, and some are unique to the different editors. Now they're accessed the same way with these 2 menus up here, and same thing with command clicking. We can get an alternate tool. Now, to create notes in the piano roll editor, we want to use the pencil tool. So right now it's assigned to my command click tool. So all I need to do is hold down my command key and I'll get a pencil. Now I can simply click and it'll draw in a note. And once I create the note, if I keep dragging on the right end, it'll turn into a resize handle, and I can decide how long I want the note to be. Like that. So there's a long note. And again, because we have our regions set up as an alias here, I'm drawing the data into our guitar crunch region, but we're hearing it on the bass as well. That's the main advantage of working with an alias. Edit one region, and it'll be mirrored in the other one. So once the note's created, you'll see that it'll turn into a resize handle at the end, and you can alter the positioning, either the front end or back end, like that. Now, as I'm dragging this and lengthening or shortening it, it's moving in increments. Now, the increments that this value is set to is based on this setting over here. Now, we haven't really looked at this yet, but basically any movement in Logic, whether it's regions at the Arrange level or notes in one of the editors, is controlled by the settings on this snap parameter here. Now, what's great is that this can be set uniquely for the MIDI editor as it can for the Arrange window. You'll click, hold, and see a bunch of choices here. Smart means that it's related to the zoom level you're at. The increment that movement snaps to changes depending on your zoom level. Optionally, you can have movement set to bars, beats, divisions, ticks, etc. So for example, if I set this to division, this remains at smart because they're independent, but with this set to division, when I drag this now, it's going to move in 16th note increments. For example, if I put this to beats, it'll now move in beat increments of quarter notes. So powerful way of controlling movement. You can override this though. Like for example, right now it's set to snap to beats. But let's say I want to edit to beats for the most part, but the odd note I need finer movement. I can hold down the control key once I've pressed the mouse button down, and that'll allow me to get a finer resolution of 16th notes. Now let's say I'm still set to beat, but I want to get a finer resolution than that. Once I click the mouse button down, I can hit Control and Shift, and it'll give me free movement going at a tick-based level. You'll see the ticks in the info tag incrementing now as I'm dragging. It's important though that you click the mouse button first, because if you don't and hit Control first, you're going to get your contextual menu. So important to know that. So this is useful because this Control to get a finer resolution and then Control Shift to get tick-based resolution applies to whether you're moving or copying or editing notes or regions or moving tools around or making any kind of edit or movement that requires positioning in the timeline. So this applies throughout the program. So very important to understand this. Let's set this back to division for now. So that's how you can create notes. Now moving them around is a simple matter of, with the pointer tool, just clicking and dragging them. And again, the movement now is based in this division mode. So I'm moving based on 16ths. And if I hold Control down, it's moving in finer resolutions. And with Shift, finally tick-based resolution. So moving or editing lengths or positions, those modifiers apply. Let's get rid of this note. I'm going to hit delete. And we'll look at copying notes. Now, let's say I'm I have that note selected and that one, and I want to copy them. I can hold down Option and click, hold, and drag like I can with regions, and they'll move like that. And again, once I'm Option dragging them to move them, I can hold down Control to get finer movement and Control Shift to get tick-based movement. Let's rubber band select those and delete them. Transposing notes. What I can do is select them, one or many, and just drag up or down. Easy enough to transpose, and there's a great key command for that, and that's Option with the up and down arrow keys. So very useful for editing note pitches in the MIDI editors. Now, editing the length of the notes, we saw that there's a resize tool that you can use like that. But what you can also do is hold down Shift on multiple notes. Like, let's say I'm going to select all 3 of these notes. And if I hold down the Shift key, it's going to set the same end position. As I drag the boundary of one of them, they'll all be set to the same end position. So you see? Let's back it up. A little bit muddy and distorted, but it basically left the note on positions, but put all the endpoints at the same place. Let me click Command-Z, undo, and we're back to the original. Now there's a related command, different but very important, and that allows you to set the same note length for each note. Now I'm going to select all these, and we'll see here that they're all different lengths. Now I'm going to click, and once I've clicked, I'm going to hold down Option and Shift, and it sets them all to the same note length now. I'm going to hit Command-Z. So important to understand that. Shift will set the same end length for each note. It'll adjust their lengths so that they all end at the same position. Option and Shift allows them to all be the exact same length. Very useful. Now further, pertaining to adjusting note lengths, we have some menu commands that are interesting. Under Functions, Note Events, we can force legato. And this will allow all the note events to butt up against each other. Let's go Note Force Legato selected. Now they all just had their lengths adjusted so that they come right up to the next notes and none of them are overlapping. So it lengthened that one and it adjusted them so they're all perfectly legato. I'm going to hit Command-Z and you'll see that the note lengths have reverted. Now further to this we have overlap correction. For example, these 2 notes are overlapping, and so are these ones for that matter. Now if I go under Functions, I can go Note Events Overlap Correction. So it just altered their lengths so that there are no overlaps. I think I'm going to leave that, I like it. So there you go, there's some ways of adjusting note lengths and controlling the behavior. So that's it for this video. We're going to continue looking at some more advanced editing functions in the piano roll editor in the next video. But for now, we've looked at the basics at how to select notes, how to create notes, how to move them, how the grid works with the snap values, how to copy notes, how to transpose them, and how to edit their lengths. So that's it. Stay tuned, and I'll see you for more next time.